You're going to go ahead and add some olive oil. Okay, and that it completes all of our oil. So we're going to go ahead and melt all of this down, and then we're going to get to the next part, which is the lye water. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add our lye solution into the oils. Slowly pour, slowly pour, slowly pour. Okay, so now that we've added our lye solution into it, we're going to go ahead and just give it like a little stir really quick. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our stick blender, and we're going to go and mix it all in together. Okay, so right now we have a trace inside of our lye and, well, our soap batter. We have a trace, and a trace is basically whenever you can pick it up and you can see like lines inside, like you can trace the batter. Okay, so we're gonna put the heat back up a little bit, like I had the heat off, and we're gonna let it come to another phase, and that's the applesauce phase. Like from here on out, we're just gonna pretty much take it into a high speed. Like normally people let it sit in the crock pot and cook for over an hour, and give your stick blender a break. Okay, don't forget to do that because you will burn it out. But normally people let it sit in the crock pot for an hour and cook it. Me, I like to just bring it straight over to the last phase, and that's when I add anything that I want to add, such as my lavender, my colors, or anything like that. Okay, but this today is just going to be goat milk soap. We're going to add some fragrance to it, and that's about it. So go ahead and sit and watch, and let us take it on over to the next phase. Okay, so if you guys were looking, it went through like a applesauce type of breaking up phase where it thinned out, and then it came together and got really thick like a big old ball, like it was about to explode. But that's just a process, a hot process. At that point, that's when you just take a spoon and just kind of stir it and whip it back into submission, because if you don't, that's when it will rise up and go out of the pot. That's the part where people are afraid of. They say they don't want to make hot process soap because they don't want it to blow up in their face, but that's really all it is. Like, you just need to make sure that when you see it's blowing up like that, you know, you take your time and just kind of stir it, and as you stir it, it goes right back down. Okay, so if you reach the end of this phase right here and it looks like this, then it's done. Okay, it is finished. Do a pH test just to see if it still has lye in it, or, you know, it's not really recommended, but you could do a zap test too. But the good part about this soap is it's a hot process soap, but it's not really real thick. So you can add mica to it, you can add activated charcoal, you can add whatever you want to it at this phase, and it's still, you'll be still able to see it in the soap. But I'm going to leave it this color because I just want it to look just like, you know, goat milk soap. Like, I want that natural look, and I want it to have like that hot process rustic feel to it. Okay, so it's done. You can put a top on it if you want to do more things to it. Like me, I'm getting ready to add some fragrance to it, or essential oils. Whatever one I choose. I'll probably add like some lavender or something like that, or that Johnson & Johnson I just showed you guys. But it's finished, and this is why I go through the process the way I do. If you want to do it in a crock pot, it's much quicker in a crock pot. I mean, much longer in a crock pot. This is quick. That's long. You'll be doing that for almost an hour, 45 minutes or so. No, maybe longer than 45 minutes. But this is just pretty much, that's why we had to go and keep stick blended in and everything like that, just so it can get done quicker. Like what we did was rush cook it. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and fill up our mold. Now, don't get on me because I don't have my little safety pins. I mean, my clothes pins, okay? I usually have them, but, you know, guys, I had moved, so a lot of my stuff I had to just kind of start over with. You know, a lot of my stuff I just started over with. So let me go ahead and let's get this party started right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting some of this soap in here. I'm super duper excited about this recipe because it is a hit. Now, I did end up changing my fragrance. Remember I told y'all that I was going to use the Johnson & Johnson, but I ended up going with a Vermont and honey fragrance that I had. Now, y'all know I got like almost 1,000 fragrances. I done tried just about anybody's fragrance. And so I just tried that one in this because I wanted to, I don't know, I just wanted to use it because it said honey. So we're going to go ahead and just pour this stuff in a mold. This is so cool. I love this recipe. It's so thin. So it's just, I mean, it makes it so easy to design it and do things with it. Like, you know how you put a layer of activated charcoal and colorant. You can really do this with this recipe and have no issues. Like, it will not give you a problem. You can also take some bubble, like the paper, the plastic. You can take that bubble plastic and you can lay it on the top and just kind of, you know, if you're doing goat milk and honey, you could do something like that. But this is a beautiful recipe, guys. I'm sure you will love it, and I can't wait to see your soap. All the soap in here, it looks beautiful. Oh my God, it's such a beautiful color. It's nice and gold and honey. So we're gonna let it solidify, and then we're gonna come back and cut it together, because I know you guys want to see the finished product. And I'm the same way. I'm like, look, don't just leave off of here. We need to see that soap finished. We need to see that soap solidified. We need to see if that soap made it through the storm, okay? Because the storm wants to go in this mold. That's all it's about. Let's determine whether or not it's going to get hard. Because you can make a batch of soap all day, but we need to see if it's going to get hard, okay? So we're going to go ahead and let this thing solidify. And mine is kind of overflowing, so this is going to be a really, really nice batch, okay? So I'm going to clean it up. Okay, and if you want to fix your top, you know, the way this soap is setting up, it is beautiful. So if you want to fix your top, you can, you know, do some stuff to the top. But I'm just going to leave mine like that because I like that old rustic feel. And we're just going to wait for it to solidify and come back and cut it together. Okay, so our loaf of soap is done. It's officially done. I'll go ahead and take it out the silicone. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put it on the side. I always like to cut my soap to the side because it seems like when I cut it straight up and down, sometimes it leaves like marks in it. So I always just like to pull it over to the side, okay? Alright, so this soap is done. This is definitely a very hard loaf. But if you give it about 3 to 5 days, it will get harder. Like, it's hard right now, but more water will evaporate. You know, in the days to come. So when you do this recipe, just make sure you give it like at least a week to harden. Most people give it a little bit more time to cure. They usually do 2 weeks. Me, I recommend 2 weeks as well. But if you want to use it quicker, you know, you can use it immediately because there's no lye in it. But if you want to sell it, you know, I recommend 2 weeks. So you can have all the water evaporated out of it. And the hardness of the bar is definitely on point when you wait those 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting it. Nothing like a fresh cut of a soap, okay? Alright. And it is really nice. I really like it. It looks so good. It looks so good. I did use some soap with some vanillin in it, so that's why my soap is a little bit brown. But I definitely won't use, I gotta be mindful of that. Next time I won't use that, but it's beautiful. The color, I love the color. You know, I'm glad I didn't color it with mica because I really wanted it to be, you know, just kind of natural looking. I didn't want to have any like colorants or dyes or anything. But you can always color it and do things to it. As you can see, the top is like a little rustic. It's not really like real bad. Like, you know how hot processed soap usually like look real bad and chunky on the top? It's not like that because the soap was really smooth. Okay, so what you do is you cut it and then you just kind of go and take your fingers and even it out on the sides from the place where you cut it, and then you just leave them to sit